If you had to make $1 million or you die in the next year, this is how I would do it. My name is David Choi. I'm 29 years old. I'm an 8-figure real estate entrepreneur. I own over $60 million in assets. And if you want to get into commercial real estate, the math is not that difficult. A child could do it. You just need basic arithmetic. Today, I'm going to show you in the next few minutes exactly how I would do it and how you could do it too. So if you asked me, Dave, I got 1 year to make $1 million, and if I don't, I'm dead. Here's what I would do. First off, I do recommend getting started in residential real estate, oftentimes because it requires a lower barrier to entry. Your education level doesn't need to be so high. You don't need to learn about NOI or cap rates. But the truth is if you boil down commercial real estate into very fundamental aspects, it's not that difficult. And today, I'm gonna show you how to underwrite and understand commercial real estate very easily. So let's get started. So a couple things you need to know is NOI. NOI is your net operating income. And believe me, if you got through middle school or even high school, underwriting commercial real estate on a high level is super easy. So let me show you. First thing you need to know is arithmetic. Arithmetic is very simple, right? Plus, minus, multiplication, and division. So the first thing you need to know is your gross potential income. Gross potential income is what the property can rent for on the top line. If you have 5 units and on average each unit rents for $2,000, the gross potential income is gonna be 10 grand. Pretty straightforward, right? 5 times 2. 10,000. Of course, the property isn't gonna be occupied and cash flowing all the time. Every day there's gonna be tenants that turn over, tenants that don't pay rent. And so what you do, to keep life simple, 5% vacancy. So you gotta have a vacancy factor here. 5%, what is 5% of $10,000? $500, look at that. Now, you have what's called your gross collected income, because after vacancy, you collect GCI, gross collected income, $9,500. Now, if I asked you, what kind of expenses does a landlord need to pay for? What are his operating expenses to run the day-to-day business? Well, the government takes a big chunk of it. Taxes. You gotta pay for insurance because if the house or the building burns down, you don't wanna be left with nothing, right? So you gotta get insurance. And then you got your water and you got your sewer. You got your common area electric, right? Your tenants typically pay for their own electric bill, but the common areas still need to be, the lights still need to be on. They're gonna walk in the middle of the night, pitch dark, you gotta have your lights on, right? So you gotta have common area. What's next? You might have some maintenance issues. A good one to run is about $550 a year per unit, or if you want to be conservative, depending on how you want to do it, you could just take 5% of the gross potential income, 5%. And then after it's all said and done, you're left with your net operating income, your net NOI. This is very easy, folks. So let's go ahead and do it real quick. Taxes. First off, this is on a monthly basis, so you do need to annualize everything, but we're going to be running it off on a monthly assumption for now. Assuming that this property is in the city of Newark, where I own most of my real estate, a 5 units taxes might be like $15,000. So $15,000, let me go ahead and do this. Let me annualize this side, okay? 15K, Josh, what's 15 divided by 12? Pull up, come on, help me out here. 1250. See, you don't need to be a mathematician. You just need to know arithmetic, folks. Insurance, I don't know, this thing might cost 5 grand a year in insurance. What is that on a monthly basis, Josh? $416, pretty straightforward. You take the annual amount, you divide it by 12. If you have any confusions on taxes and insurance, taxes typically you can find on your state records, all public information. Just Google it, okay? Eventually in your area, if you do it enough, you're gonna know exactly where to look. Insurance, in expensive markets like New Jersey, it might be $1,000 per unit. Depending on where you are, the cost to build and the value of properties, it differs nationwide. So I can't help you there. Water and sewer, about $50 per unit per month. $50 per unit per month. Okay, and again, this is a little different. New Jersey is a little expensive, so let's just go ahead and do 50 times 5. What is that? 250. 250 times 12 is 3,000. Very easy math here, folks. Common area electric. Let's just go with $15 per unit per month. What is that? 15 times 5? 75. 75 times what? 12. 900. $900, guys. It's very easy. And then you got your maintenance. It's 5% of the 9,500. And what is that, Josh?
Wait, what?
5% of 9,500.
475.
475 times 12. What is that? 475. 475 times 12? $5,700. Bam! What's 9,500 times 12?
114,000.
114K. All right. Now your net operating income is all the money you made minus the expenses that you have, and these are all your expenses, right? Right here. So let's do some basic arithmetic. 15 times 5, that's 20. Oh, sorry, plus 5, it's 20. Plus 3, 23. Plus 900, 23,900. Plus 5,700. Ooh, 28,900. 29,600. So 29,600 in the operating expense side minus your gross collected income. What's 114,000 minus $29,600? $84,000. All right, this is your NOI, your net operating income. This is what the property does if you renovate the units, if you rent them out at full market value, assuming these operating expenses, but these are pretty standard throughout the country, pretty standard throughout residential apartments. It gets a little bit different on commercial real estate side, but it's all the same. So easy. Okay, do I have the back cleared here? Oh my God, let me get the back cleared here. You don't need to be an aristocrat to underwrite commercial real estate, okay? My 7-year-old Asian nephew knows how to underwrite commercial real estate because it's basic math. What we did here was we found the NOI. Now, how do you know what you could pay? Well, in commercial real estate, any type of real estate endeavor, this is why real estate's awesome. It's easy to determine value. Whereas in the stock market, it's based on consumer fears and demand. Prices go up and down depending on what the market thinks. Commercial real estate is pretty steady. Residential real estate is pretty steady. And finding out what that property is worth is pretty steady and easy to do. It makes sense. It makes a ton of sense. All you need to know is the NOI, and you need to know the capitalization rate, the cap rate. And that cap rate is determined by what an investor is willing to pay, all cash, and what he is expecting to get in return on an annual basis. Let's just go ahead and use a 6% cap rate valuation. If an investor wants to make a 6% return if he bought a property all cash, a residential property, a 5-unit property like this, you would take the NOI of that property and you would divide it by the 6% market cap rate. 84,000 divided by 0.06 or 6% is $1.4 million. So this is what the property could be worth after you've renovated it, after you leased it up and got full market rent and got it to cash flow $84,000 based on the cap rate. Say for example, the cap rate of the market is 5%. What happens to this value? It's inversely related. So you take the $84,000 and you go ahead and divide that by 5%, it's now worth more money. And the reason why this is the case is because if it's a better asset class, it's in a more desirable area, you're gonna require a lesser return, 5%. But if you're in a worse area, in a worse asset class that's not as desirable, you're gonna require a better return, 6%. Now, how do you know what you're supposed to pay for this property so that you can make $1 million? Well, I mean, I guess the math would be pretty simple. You just take whatever this is worth and subtract $1 million and get it for that price. But is that really reasonable? Are people really gonna be selling it to you that cheap? Probably not, okay? So this is just an example, but if you wanna make $1 million really quickly, you gotta be playing with larger numbers. What I recommend for this to be a good deal for number one, for you to buy, or number two, for you to be able to wholesale to an investor to make big profits, you need to buy at least at a discount. And the way that you find out what you could pay on a discount is really simple. You take the market cap rate, let's just say for example is a 6%. You divide that by 3 and then you get 2, right? 2%. So what you want to do here is at least get 2% above the market cap rate. So you take the market cap rate divided by 3, it's 2. You take that 2 and then you add it to the market cap rate and you get 8%. So the key here is to buy it at a going in 8 cap rate. So you take the NOI, $84,000, and you divide it by 8%. You take it by 84%, so you take $84,000, and then you divide it by 8%, You pick this up for $1,050,000. And guess what? If you divide it by 1.4 million, typically you're gonna be buying this thing at a pretty solid discount. You're buying it 75 cents on the dollar, right? You're getting a 25% day one discount on this property. What you wanna do is sell this property for a little bit more to the next guy, to an investor that's willing to pay more than your 1.5 million. Typically, what you'll be able to do is find investors that will 100% follow this formula. They're willing to pay $1,050,000 for. So if you want to be even a little bit more conservative and make more money, maybe what you do is you take this price and then you subtract what you want to make on the deal, 100K, you offer to purchase this property for $950,000. If you pick up this property for $950K, chances are you're going to be able to sell this property for about $1,050,000 and make 100 grand doing it. Now, if you do this on deals that are 10 times bigger, $10 million deals, $11 million deals, guess what? You made $1 million on one deal. That's how you do it, folks. Not rocket science. Guys, if you guys like this video, please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you later.